Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm excited to be back with more Zooming with Kaymitch. I got more exciting guests on, and I'm happy to be back with more episodes, new topics, new questions, everything. So without further ado, my next guest will be on here shortly. So I'll wait for him. Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Dude,
Good. So
dude.
I'm excited to have you on today. Thank you for carving out some time to be a part of my Zooming with Kaymitch. Without further ado, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and get into that?
Uh, I appreciate you having me. I'm Trey Draper, so I'm glad to be on, and always making time for you.
Yeah. So starting off, I always do my research on everybody I have on here. So talking with you, I know you played at the University of Memphis. Kind of how did, playing there and your experience being at Memphis kind of help your career?
Um, Man, that actually jump started my career. Just being able to play Division One, playing Division One basketball, but being able to do it, at home is crazy. I always say
Yeah.
that, Division One basketball is a privilege, but playing at home is a blessing. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So just gave me, at a high level, being a part of the area winners program in history, University of Memphis. We had 160 wins over 4 years, made the NCAA
Wow.
tournament all year, 4
Yeah.
years, the conference tournament 3 of those years, went undefeated 1 year. So we had some, some accolades, but throughout that time, I learned what winning really looked like, and
Mhm.
just becoming a good student. So that was the biggest thing, a student of not just in the classroom, but a student of the game as well.
That's awesome. I know, like I said, we talked a lot about, you being from Memphis and getting to play at Memphis and how that was a blessing for you and getting to share that experience. Like you said, having all those wins, being a part of one of the most winning culture, there in Memphis, kind of, and now you seeing it grow to what it is now being at U of M. So it's amazing to always, get to go back and play for your hometown for sure. With being at Memphis, kind of like, what were some of your early influences, to your approach to coaching and your leadership now?
Um, Definitely, Coach Pastner was huge. Coach Damon Stoudemire. When I was a player, I had an opportunity, to be team captain my junior and senior year. But more than anything, I was in charge of, scout team at college, and I didn't realize how important that role was. So when you look at actually doing scout reports while you're on the team and, sitting in the office with coach, and from there, Coach Damon Stoudemire was huge in that. He's at Georgia Tech now. He's the head coach at Georgia Tech, played in the league. And Coach Stoudemire was just talking to me, and he said, you can make a lot of money doing this. And that was one of the reasons why I picked it up. To just to be honest with you, from there, Coach Wade, who's now at McNeese State, was at LSU. He hired me as a GA at
Mm-hmm.
the University of Memphis, and from there, the rest was history. And I just kind of fell in love with it.
Hmm. That's awesome. Being a GA now, like it's a different mindset of, like you said, being a player, being on scout programs, like looking at scouts and like actually being a coach, and it's like, okay, now I understand like why this part was so important.
Yeah, for
Everybody
sure.
prep for the game and making sure everybody on their P's and Q's, and like you get to watch the offense, you get to watch the defense, and you just kind of see it unfold as a whole and understand like how important scout really is. Like I said, me being in this GA role, it's times where I have to be on scout, and it's like, man, like you really getting the people ready to get out there. So without a great scout, like you get to see, how the
Yeah,
game
you
unfolds.
need that. You need that scout. And
Yeah,
then that GA role is a very important role because you're really a liaison between the coach and the players, right?
yeah,
You're young enough to
yeah.
be with the players, and you're old enough to be on staff. So
Right.
I think building those relationships with those players early on was crucial, and that's something that I learned at a very young age. Was
Yeah.
relationship, right? That relationship, that network determines a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm definitely learning here, being on my second year. I have a next question. What was the most challenging moment in your coaching career, and how did you overcome it?
One of the most challenging. So I was at IMG Academy, and that was 2020 during COVID, and I was one of the only coaches furloughed at IMG at the time. We're talking about coming off a national championship. Uh,
Hmm.
in 2018, sending three guys to the NBA and
Yeah,
Jaden Springer, Jeremiah Robinson, or Josh Green, who ended up going first. All of them went first round.
yeah.
Three McDonald All-American. So win a national championship to be on ESPN and to be, assistant coach of the year, you know what I mean, our first year
Hmm.
to getting to losing your job. To losing your job, that was a humbling experience because not only that, we had a tremendous recruiting class coming in. We had guys that Jaden Bradley was at Arizona right now, Tamar Bates at Missouri,
Hmm.
and to realize like, and I went through some challenging times mentally, overcame depression with that because I was questioning myself.
Hmm.
I got to second guessing myself, but surrounding myself with the right people. My mom, my dad, my sister were very instrumental throughout their furlough. One of the guys at John Morandis at alumni Murray State was very big on that time, of my furlough, and just been able to have that dialogue with them and help me overcome it because it was times where I didn't like I questioned I really didn't want to do this no more because it just I gave my all to it, and when
Hmm.
you give something all, it felt like a slap in the face, and but from there I overcame it and still overcome it because I had thoughts when I revert back to it and it's like, wow, that was
Yeah,
tough.
yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I know you shared it with me and we talked a little bit before, but like that's hard. When you give your all to some and then it's like, oh, I got to do something new, that can be tough. And like you said,
That's
yeah.
not naming because you out, but like that's where you really learn. For me, spiritually, I was able. You never know like why you go through something, and it always looks a lot more difficult when you in it, and you in that storm,
Mhm.
and when you come out of it, you just kind of look back
Like,
and
wow.
hey, I
Yeah.
know why I was in there, right? I
Yeah.
really truly know. Like I learned, um, you know, I learned a lot spiritually throughout that moment, not just mentally, but like I said spiritually, emotionally, physically. Like I was able to gym, and I know why I went through that moment now.
Mhm.
But when
Right.
you in it, and 4 years ago, you looking
Yeah.
at
It's
it,
like,
I
why?
was literally like, shoot, man, you don't know why you're in the end. It's crazy because I was hired back on today when I got there. So after my furlough, they let me go for 4 or 6 months. Today was actually the day. It was the anniversary of me getting the job back. So I had to go for ego. Let ego go, put pride to the side, and say, you don't do this or you're not, because you see how fast it can be gone. So now I just cherish every moment with it. I don't take anything for granted.
I think, and also too, thinking back and like I said, listening to your story, it's almost like if I didn't go through that, imagine like where I'm at
One
now.
hundred percent. I would never
Where
make
I'm
it.
at now.
I would
Yeah.
never. I can tell you, and it's a situation where you got to really, get in tune with, with God and with the Most High because he can move stuff around. You really don't even be knowing, right? And he can move stars and trees and water and land. I mean, just look what he can do with people. Like we're nothing. You know what I mean? We're nothing. And
It's all a
I
part of his
truly and I truly understand it. And like you said, I'm when you don't really understand it when you're going through, but when you get on
plan.
the other side of it, you look back and you just be like, man, you just be speechless. You be speechless.
Man, that's so powerful.